सफीर पाकिस्तान, आपके जज्बों का तर्जुमान। वतन से दूर, वतन की आवाज और आपकी पहचान। सफीर पाकिस्तान, हर जगह हर पल आपका अपना सफीर पाकिस्तान नजर आता है। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। नाज़रीन, आपका मेज़बान वक़ार अली ख़ान प्रोग्राम सफीर पाकिस्तान के साथ हाज़िर खिदमत है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप खैरियत से होंगे और प्रोग्राम पाबंदी से देख रहे होंगे। नाज़रीन, आज एक और मुलाकात है, बहुत अहम मुलाकात, बहुत मालूमाती, और वो हज़रात जो हेल्थ केयर इंडस्ट्री से मुंसलिक हैं, उनके हॉस्पिटल हैं या क्लिनिक हैं या वो प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, वो गौर से आज का प्रोग्राम देखें, क्योंकि आज हम आपकी मुलाकात करा रहे हैं बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट अटॉर्नी से। उनका नाम है खालिद खलून, उनका ताल्लुक़ है केंटकी से, और वो DA भी रह चुके हैं, प्रोसिक्यूटर भी रह चुके हैं, और मुख्तलिफ़ शोबों से उनका ताल्लुक़ रहा है। बाय प्रोफेशन ऑफ कोर्स अटॉर्नी, और इसके अलावा उनका ताल्लुक़ सहाफ़त से भी रह चुका है। वो पाकिस्तान में सहाफ़त से मुंसलिक थे और एक बहुत बड़े अखबार में काम कर रहे थे, और मिशिगन में भी रह चुके हैं। आजकल केंटकी में रिहाइश पजीर है और बहुत ही मारूफ और मशहूर अटॉर्नी है अपनी फ़ील्ड के। इनकी जो स्पेशलाइज्ड फील्ड है वो है वाइट कॉलर क्राइम, हेल्थ केयर कंप्लाइंस, मेडिकल डिफेंस अटॉर्नी, और इसके अलावा टेररिज्म में भी इनकी एक्सपर्टीज़ है और रेसिज्म में भी इनकी एक्सपर्टीज़ है। तो मुख्तलिफ़ सेक्टर और मुख्तलिफ़ शोबों में काम करते हुए उन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छा नुमाया किरदार अदा किया है। और जब मैं केंटकी में था तो जिनसे भी मैंने मुलाकात की, इंक्लूडिंग इनके जजेज़, इनके अटॉर्नीज़, इनके DA ऑफिस के लोग, सभी ने बड़ी तारीफ़ की और बताया कि ही इज़ ए वेरी डेडिकेटेड, ऑनेस्ट एंड हार्ड वर्किंग अटॉर्नी। नाज़रीन, तो आइए मुलाकात कराते हैं आपकी हम जनाब खालिद खलून से, जो कि अटॉर्नी एट लॉ हैं, केंटकी में हैं, और आज वो बहुत कुछ आपके लिए मालूमात लेकर आए हैं। मुलाहिज़ा फरमाइए ये रिपोर्ट। होराइजन ट्रैवल मुकम्मल ट्रैवल टूर पैकेज, जाना कल हो या आज, और लास्ट मिनट ट्रैवलिंग, पाकिस्तान, इंडिया, बांग्लादेश, गल्फ और मिडिल ईस्ट, दुनिया भर में सफरी सहूलतों के चैंपियन। हज हो या उम्रा, ज़ियारत हो या प्यारों से मिलना, सिर्फ एक ही नाम लबों पे है आम। ऑल एयरलाइंस, ऑल पैकेज, मुनासिब दाम में बहुत बड़ा नाम, होराइजन ट्रैवल। साहिल भाई से आज ही राब्ता कायम कीजिए।
श्री बालाजी एंटरटेनमेंट प्रेजेंट्स रॉकस्टार आतिफ असलम, कॉल 310-889-5158 201-805-9426।
Khalid is a good learner, and I think he could move right into that field without. Well, I've had other people work for me that are doing that same thing, so I think he can just slide right into that field and be perfectly comfortable and do well.
I see. What is the best thing you found out of him as a person?
I think that's it, is his personality. Everybody likes talking to Khalid. You know, he has such experience, and he's different than the rest of us because of his background, and he brings that out very well.
Well, he's my neighbor. I live across the street, and Cal is probably the most friendliest person here on the street. He's always been nice to me. He comes to visit. He walks up and down the street. He's social with just everybody here. So he's just a great guy.
So how long you know him?
I guess Cal moved in here about 3, maybe 4 years ago. And I've known him that time.
You know him as an attorney or as a person?
Just as a person.
Well, I hired Khalid Kaloon when I was the United States Attorney for the Western District of Kentucky. And I'd heard about this young man, and I'd also been involved in some joint meetings where he was present. I was very much impressed by him and by his work. And so I decided to hire him from the state prosecutor to our office, which is the federal prosecutor. And I was never sorry about that. He's not only a good lawyer, a great prosecutor, but he's a really good person.
I'm here at the courtroom 7-1, and today I'm doing a profile on Mr. Khalid Kaloon. He's an attorney, prosecutor, good background. Today I'm learning about him, how he's doing, how he's educating our community. Mr. Sheikh, nice meeting you.
Very nice to meet you.
Just I have a quick question. What do you think, what's your comments about Mr. Khalid Kaloon?
I've known Khalid for many years at this point. In fact, when he was a new lawyer, he was a public defender early on. I was very impressed with his preparation, with his presentation, and I actually helped recommend him for the job he got as a prosecutor later. He's excellent.
Nadine, I'm far away from my town, Los Angeles, California. Today I'm in Kentucky city, Louisville. It's very popular, as you know, is horses place, a derby place. And today I'm meeting Mr. Khalid Kaloon. He's attorney at law. He's a defense attorney. He fight for many cases, very known, very renowned. I have a lot of respect in the town. I met several judges, court people, everybody like him. About his credential is good, he's honest, and he's a very successful attorney here in Kentucky. Let me introduce Mr. Khalid Kaloon. Nice meeting, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. I'm
I'm
glad.
always looking forward to talk to the attorneys. We have spoken to several doctors, engineers, scientists, intellectuals in my show. And today I'm very proud that I'm presenting one of the successful Pakistani American attorney here in America.
Thank you very much. We welcome you to Louisville, Kentucky. It's the home of Muhammad Ali, home of the famous Kentucky bourbon, and also the famous home of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken, and also Derby, Kentucky Derby. So this is also the home of Kentucky Derby.
Very good. Mr. Khalid Kalon, I would like to begin by hearing from you about your background and when you arrived in America. What is the reason of arriving in America? Why you have chosen this country? You have to tell to my audience and my audience watching you all over America, Canada, and globally.
Well, as you know, my name is Khalid Kaloon. I grew up on a small farm in rural Punjab, Pakistan. I went to Government College Lahore and then Quaid-e-Azam University, Islamabad. I did my master's from Quaid-e-Azam University. I was a journalist for then newspaper The Muslim. I came to the United States in 1989, and after long and hard struggle, I ended up going to a law school and became an attorney. I am a former federal prosecutor, a former state prosecutor. I am currently in private practice. I do serious criminal cases. I represent doctors who were accused of wrongdoing, which are usually a result of some mistakes in their coding and billing and non-compliance. So that is what I do right now in my private practice as a criminal defense lawyer.
Mr. Kaloon, I would like to ask you that why you have chosen the great country America.
Well, as when you're growing up in Pakistan, I felt that I needed to go somewhere where I could realize my potential. Unfortunately, the circumstances in Pakistan at the time, and unfortunately till today, are not conducive to young men who do not come from well-connected families to make progress. I was a small rural boy who wanted to have big ambitions and wanted a place that could help him realize his ambitions, and this country has done that for me.
Oh, I see. So tell me about your schooling in Pakistan.
Well, we grew up on in a village, and frankly, my first school was under a banyan tree, जिसको कहते हैं बोर्ड का दरख्त. तो हम उसके नीचे बैठते होते थे, और वहाँ पे एक्चुअली हमारे पास स्टार्ट भी नहीं होते थे, तो अपने घर से बोरी लेके आते थे. तो हमारे जो उस्ताद थे वो फार्मर थे और साथ उस्ताद थे. तो वो जब अपनी फार्मिंग मुकम्मल करते थे फिर वो स्कूल आते थे साइकिल पे, तो सबसे पहले आके हमें ये कहते थे कि लस्सी लेके आएँ. तो हम लस्सी लेके आते थे. तो पता नहीं कैसे तलीम हमने मुकम्मल कर ली. बड़ा मौजज़े की बात है कि वहाँ के उस तरह के माहौल से निकल के, लेकिन ये है कि मेरे वालिदैन को ये बड़ा शौक़ था कि हमारे बच्चे जो हैं वो तलीम हासिल करें.
बिल्कुल. अच्छा, तो बेसिक आपने ग्रेजुएशन कहाँ से किया पाकिस्तान में?
मैंने मरी कॉलेज सियालकोट से, उसके बाद मैं गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज लाहौर से बीए किया, फिर मैंने कायदे यूनिवर्सिटी से एमएससी की. उसके बाद मैं जर्नलिस्ट था और उसके बाद मैं फिर यहाँ पे आ गया.
तो आपने एमएससी करने के बाद आप जर्नलिज्म कैसे गए?
मुझे जर्नलिज्म का शौक़ था. मैं एक्चुअली जब गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज लाहौर में था तो भी मैं पाकिस्तान प्रेस इंटरनेशनल के साथ काम करता था एज ए स्टूडेंट. मैं अपने जो गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज का गज़ट था रावी, उसका एडिटोरियल बोर्ड में था. उसके बाद मैं कायदे यूनिवर्सिटी में भी एडिटोरियल बोर्ड में था. तो मुझे जर्नलिज्म का शुरू से ताल्लुक़ है और मुझे जर्नलिस्ट की बड़ी मैं रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ.
Thank you very much. So you have done a good job. The Muslim. You were Muslim as what? As a reporter, as a crime reporter, investigator?
I started out on a city desk as a sub-editor, and then I became a reporter. My boss at the time is a well-renowned Pakistani diplomat and scholar, Maliha Lodi.
Oh, yeah.
And she...
Of course, Maria Lodi may be watching you at this time.
Well, if she does, Dr. Lodi, I'm very grateful to you for your time in nurturing me as a journalist. And I have done well in this country, and I still remember. And another great influence on me was Dr. Shiri Mazari, who was my teacher at Quaid-e-Azam University. So I had a strong influence of some strong women while I was a student, and it has served me well.
Okay. After being a journalist, have you ever caught in any problem?
You know, I did not. Fortunately, at that time, things were still pretty safe and peaceful. And I took a bus every day from the campus and came to Apara, where the Muslims' office was, did my work, and went back home. But it was certainly entertaining, and I would encourage any young student in Pakistan to explore journalism. It will open up many doors for you.
Mr. Kaloon, is a very good opportunity that you are on Safir Pakistan Geo's famous program, as you know that. And I would like to really take an opportunity to talk about how our community, as you mentioned, that you also defend a lot of physician community, hospital and compliance. And of course, I'm very well been known in the Pakistani American physician community, working with many years with APNA in chapter meetings, summer meeting, winter meeting, any meetings. I'm always there to promote them and to take their message out. So tell me how you can really help our community. What way? What is your expertise? How do you benefit your community in America?
Well, first of all, Waqar Sahib, let me thank you for your dedication and commitment to making sure that Pakistanis in this country stay connected to the news at home, for your dedication and commitment to profiling and highlighting some of the best and most successful professionals that Pakistan has ever exported, unfortunately at a cost that is called brain drain. But certainly you have been a pioneer in this field, so I commend you and I congratulate you on accomplishing what you have.
Thank you very much, sir.
As an attorney, I will tell you one of the things people don't know, that this country is a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. So that's where my strength is. I am an immigrant myself. I understand what the immigrants go through, their evolution, their transition from a new arrival to successful professionals. Many of them are physicians here. इस मुल्क में ये है कि अगर आपने एक बार गलती कर ली तो उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस जो हैं वो बहुत सीरियस होते हैं. मैंने देखे हैं डॉक्टर्स जो मिलियनेयर, जो जिनके पास 5 मर्सिडीज़, 5 BMW, घर में सारा कुछ है, बच्चे इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल में हैं, लेकिन यहाँ के अगर लॉज जो हैं वो आप वायलेट करेंगे तो उनके बड़े सीवियर कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हैं. यहाँ पे कोई ये मैटर नहीं करता कि आप सेनेटर को जानते हैं या आप हिलरी क्लिंटन का फंड रेजर कर चुके हैं या आपने किसी और सियासतदान को अपने घर बुलाया हुआ था. यहाँ का जो कानून का हाथ है वो बहुत लंबा है. और कभी ये ना सोचें कि आपके कॉन्टेक्ट्स की वजह के, आपके पैसों की वजह से, आपका जो स्टेटस है कम्युनिटी में उसकी वजह से आप अनटचेबल हैं. ये नहीं है. मैं डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ जस्टिस के साथ काम कर चुका हूँ एज ए प्रोसिक्यूटर, और मैं अब डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ जस्टिस के साथ केसेस हैंडल करता हूँ एज ए डिफेंस अटर्नी. मुझे पता है कि यहाँ पे ये सिफारिश वगैरह नहीं चलती इस लेवल पे, जिस लेवल पे ये डॉक्टर्स काम करते हैं. तो मैं ये सबको बताता हूँ कि इनके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस बहुत हैं. आप डिपोर्ट हो सकते हैं, आपकी जॉब चली जा सकती है, आपके सारे एसेट्स जो हैं वो गवर्नमेंट ले सकती है, आपको ऑब्वियसली जेल में डाला जा सकता है, आपके ऊपर सिविल लॉ सूट हो सकते हैं. तो जितने भी प्रोफेशनल्स हैं और जो भी लोग आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं इस मुल्क में, कानून को समझें, और कानून अगर आपने वायलेट किया तो उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हैं. ये ना सोचें कि अगर एक बंदे ने किया और वो पकड़ा नहीं गया तो इसका मतलब है कि मैं भी कर लूँ. यहाँ पे पकड़े जाएंगे सूनर और लेटर. तो मैं सबको यही कहता हूँ कि आप एक ऐसे मुल्क में हैं जहाँ पे आप ईमानदारी के साथ, आप अपनी ऑनेस्टी के साथ काम करें और बहुत से पैसे बना सकते हैं, बहुत सी शोहरत आप हासिल कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे वो अंग्रेज़ी में कहते हैं एनवेलप को पुश करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. कानून है, सीधे हैं, इवन जो है वो एटमॉस्फेयर है, आप इसमें कामयाब हो सकते हैं. तो मैं ये देखता हूँ तो मुझे बहुत ये ट्रेजेडीज़ में जब देखता हूँ कि लोग इस तरह के काम करते हैं, बच्चों को अब्यूज़ करते हैं, अपनी वाइफ्स हैं अपने, उनको अब्यूज़ करते हैं. यहाँ पे नहीं, आप हर चीज़ का एक कानून है, वो आपको फॉलो करना पड़ता है. आप किस ज़ात के हों, किस बात के हों, किस प्रोफेशन के हों, उससे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. तो मेरी जॉब ये है कि मैं लोगों को एजुकेट करता हूँ. अनफॉर्चुनेटली जिनसे गलतियाँ हो जाती हैं मैं उनके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस जो हैं वो मिनिमाइज़ करने की कोशिश करता हूँ. हम उनका केस जीतने की कोशिश करते हैं, लेकिन हर केस नहीं जीता जा सकता. सबसे अच्छी बात यह है, वो जिस तरह डॉक्टर्स कहते हैं कि एन आउंस ऑफ प्रिवेंशन इज़ बेटर देन ए पाउंड ऑफ क्योर, तो इसी तरह मैं कहता हूँ कि एन आउंस ऑफ कंप्लायंस इन हेल्थ केयर लॉ इज़ बेटर देन many pounds of prosecution. So I encourage all my clients who are in the healthcare industry, who are in white collar jobs to comply with the laws, make sure that they understand them. And I, as an immigrant, someone who speaks their language, who knows their culture, I can provide an insight, whether it's in compliance or in their defense, that I hope can be helpful to them.
I see. As you really conducted one of the very important seminar in recent summer meeting in Orlando, tell me about that. What was the whole thing about this seminar? Because I was unable to attend that.
Well, as you know, I by the time I get a phone call, it's unfortunately too late. I sometimes get a phone call 3 in the morning from a doctor who has just been arrested by the FBI and is being taken into custody. That is too late. I mean, I'll try to minimize the damage, but what I was trying to communicate, मैं अपने जो डॉक्टर हजरात हैं, जो मेरे दोस्त हैं, उनको मैं यही बताने की कोशिश कर रहा था कि आप यहाँ पे यही काफ़ी नहीं है कि आप मेडिसिन जानते हैं या आपको पता है कि लोगों का इलाज कैसे करना है. आपको ये भी सोचना पड़ेगा, ये भी समझना पड़ेगा कि आप कौन सा कोड इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, आप किस तरह की बिलिंग कर रहे हैं, ये जो आपने सर्विस अभी अपने पेशेंट को दी है, ये मेडिकली नेसेसरी है कि नहीं है, आपने जो सर्विस अभी प्रोवाइड है, ये वर्थलेस सर्विस थी या समथिंग वर्थ सर्विस थी. तो यहाँ पे मेडिकेयर, which is the biggest insurance program for most Americans, and Medicaid at the state level, most of these doctors, 70 to 80% of their business comes from Medicare. Medicare has very vast, ever increasing compliance requirements and regulations. And whether they are about the privacy and security of your patients and their information, whether it is about making sure that you treat your patients well, and then there are regulations by the medical boards. Each state has a medical board that regulates the doctors. And if there are ethics and there are canons, and you violate those, there will be serious consequences. So I defend doctors who unfortunately get caught in that web, who are charged or accused of those violations, whether they are at the state level or at the federal level. So most of my practice is at the federal level. So I defend people charged with serious crimes in this country, and with my experience as a defense attorney for 20 years and a prosecutor, I can help convince, whether it's a prosecutor or a judge, that my client is either not guilty of what he or she has been accused of, or if they are guilty, the penalty should be minimum, and that they are worthy of the mercy and the lighter sentence.
I see. Do you have any experience with any famous case you can talk?
Well,
without telling the name?
Without telling the name, unfortunately, I do have many cases, and recently I was involved in defending a double murder case that was very serious. 2 people were shot and killed at close range, and I defended that case. I defend doctors and healthcare providers who have been accused of Medicare fraud, and I see what happens to their families. They go from being millionaires and in a very comfortable lifestyle and having many luxuries in their life to essentially homeless in a matter of days. क्योंकि यहाँ पे होता ये है कि जब मेडिकेयर का फ्रॉड का गवर्नमेंट चार्ज करती है तो वो साथ ही सारा कुछ ले लेते हैं, गाड़ियाँ ले लेते हैं, बैंकों में जो पैसे हैं वो ले लेते हैं, पेंशन जो हैं वो ले लेते हैं, तो लोगों के पास कुछ नहीं रहता. बल्कि अब तो यहाँ तक कि वो ज्वेलरी जो होती है उनकी ख़वातीन की वो भी ले लेते हैं. जब वो जाके सर्च वारंट एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं उनके घर पे तो वो सारा कुछ ले लेते हैं, गाड़ियाँ उनकी ले लेते हैं, उनकी मैंने देखी है राडो वॉचेस जो हैं वो ले लेते हैं. तो इसलिए ये बहुत सीरियस चीज़ें हैं, और हमेशा सोचें कि मेरी जो प्रैक्टिस है वो compliant है मेडिकेयर रूल्स के साथ.
Really? Okay. So how long you are really practicing as defending the healthcare personnel?
मैंने डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ जस्टिस को छोड़ा था 2010 में, और 2010 में मैंने अपनी प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिस शुरू की है, और तब से मैं अपना हेल्थ केयर डिफेंस कर रहा हूँ और वाइट कॉलर क्रिमिनल डिफेंस कर रहा हूँ, जो कि मेरी नेशनल प्रैक्टिस है. मैं केसेस सिर्फ लुइविल कंटकी में नहीं करता, मैं और स्टेटों में भी केसेस करता हूँ. मैं यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स सुप्रीम कोर्ट का बार मेंबर हूँ, मैं मिशिगन का बार मेंबर हूँ, मैं कंटकी का बार मेंबर हूँ, और मैं जो नेशनल अमेरिकन डिफेंस लॉयर्स एसोसिएशन विच इज़ अ प्रीमियर एसोसिएशन, मैं उसका भी मेंबर हूँ. मैं अमेरिकन हेल्थ लॉयर्स एसोसिएशन का मेंबर हूँ. तो मेरी जो प्रैक्टिस है वो कम्प्रीहेंसिव है, और मेरी सर्विस जो है वो बड़ी डायरेक्ट और पर्सनल है. तो मेरे क्लाइंट्स जो हैं वो रात के किसी वक्त, दिन हो, हफ्ता हो, इतवार हो, कभी भी कॉल कर सकते हैं. और समटाइम वो जो एक कॉल होती है, दैट इज़ द इम्पोर्टेंट कॉल, द फर्स्ट कॉल when you say which direction should I go, that call can save people ton of agony.
Yeah,
down the road.
I mean, on the right time, on the right call, then
Yeah,
you involved with the case.
Yeah, so I encourage everyone to have a good lawyer's number on hand in this country. If you're in business, you need an accountant and a CPA and a good lawyers. And as someone told me, when it comes to lawyers and guns, make sure you got the best, because hopefully you will never need to use one, but when you do, you want to make sure you got a good one.
I see, as people mention in America that you have to have a good CPA, so save you from the tax fraud or some tax IRS, not taking your money all the way. And definitely now we need an attorney on your side all the times.
Well, you got one.
And that Mr. Khalid Kaloon is a very well experienced as a prosecutor, as an attorney at the private firm now, mashallah. That's very good, Mr. Kaloon, and I think our community is going to take notice about all this information and to get your service.
Thank you.
So, of course, you are here today in Safir, Pakistan.
Yes, sir.
All the Pakistani American physicians
Of course.
watching this program, their favorite program सफीर पाकिस्तान, तो आप चाहते हैं कि आप की वो खिदमत हासिल करें अगर उनकी कोई प्रॉब्लम है।
जी, जी।
प्रॉब्लम में जाने से पहले आपकी खिदमत लें, ये नहीं कि
वो
प्रॉब्लम
अच्छी
में
है।
आ गए
हाँ।
या फिर जेल में हैं या कुछ FBI उठा के ले गई आपको या कुछ मसला हो गया है,
फिर मुश्किल है,
फिर मुश्किल है, फिर केस जो है वो
मुश्किल है।
बाइंड हो जाता है, केस फाइल हो जाता है।
हाँ।
तो and if you think that you have some doubt you're doing something wrong or fishy, then you really talk to the attorney.
Yes.
Okay, how to fix my things.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right. The best way to go to sleep, if you're a doctor, is to make sure that you have an effective and a real compliance program. What compliance is going to be required under the Affordable Care Act. They haven't set a deadline, but it will be. So it is a part of the cost of doing business to have a compliance attorney come, just like you as doctors, check your patient to make sure they're doing well, and if they need any medicine or any treatment, it is provided to them. Similarly, you as a doctor need to make sure you have a compliance attorney who can check your system, who can do an internal audit, who can perform any internal investigations, and can give you a report and say, doctor, you're doing well, or if you're not doing well, you need to correct these things. And the government, if you ever make a mistake, will appreciate that and will take that into consideration, that you were trying to do the very best that you could, and unfortunately you made a mistake. So instead of having a criminal case, you will end up with an administrative or a civil case.
Oh, very good. See that now the Obamacare is going to add almost 50 to 60 million more patients. Okay, there's a lot of issues, a lot of specialized doctor in geriatry, because the case going for internal medicine refer to the specialist. Okay, and now one of the doctor I really got involved with interview in Orlando, and he mentioned that there is a CCAP. Now you're going to pay by the satisfaction report by the patient. They will ask questions about 30, 40, 50, I don't know how many questions. The doctor came, आपसे हाथ मिलाया, आपसे उसने हंस के बात की, आपकी प्रॉपर देखभाल की, उसने उसका एटीट्यूड कैसा था, उसकी एडवाइस क्या दी थी, उसने कौन कौन सी मेडिसिन आपको लिखी, आप उससे मुतमिन है कि नहीं। जब वो अगर आपको वो जाएगा क्वेश्चन वहाँ पे, then you will get payment and then you will be scored. You got 100%, 80%, 30%, 40%. So that score will be stay in your record. So if you want to see a doctor, a GI doctor or ENT doctor, you have to go and see the CCAP score. Okay, he's a good doctor or I'm going to die.
Yeah, so going forward, actually, that's where I think the medicine in this country is going. The quality of care is going to be a huge issue. Mm-hmm. It is not enough for the Medicare or for most insurance plans that you are providing medical services. They want to look at the quality of medical service you are providing. ICD-10, which many of my physician friends cringe when they hear about it, that's a new coding system, ICD-10.
ICD-10.
That's been introduced, and what it has done, it has tripled the number of codes. Now the doctors and their staff is required to know and to understand. So it's going to get complex, but I really believe that the focus is going to be on quality of care, and every doctor is going to have to answer and be able to document and rationalize a medical decision making that they have done. That how is that they came to decide that this particular patient needs this particular treatment. Is there a diagnosis that supports it? Is there a documentation that supports it? Has the doctor taken the most aggressive step and the most expensive step? Or should the doctor have started with the least expensive and the least aggressive step? So it is going to be a lot more scrutinous going forward.
There is the one thing brought to in my knowledge and notice. A lot of major hospitals, they have a direction or instruction to the doctor to minimize the expense. So if the patient coming is coughing and they keep giving them medicine, finally after the patient crying, and then they send the specialist.
Yeah. Well, it's a combination. It's an interesting combination. Many of my doctor friends and I, we have this discussion in this country. The patient population is getting old and is expanding. People in this country, unlike back home in Pakistan, they want cure for everything. And that someone has to pay for it. And right now, Medicare and Medicaid is paying for it, but it just cannot be sustained at this rate. The number of people who need medical care and the cost of medical care is going to become a huge problem. So Medicare may try to follow a plan where they tell a doctor, we're going to give you a certain amount of money and you're going to treat this patient. It is going to be something like a flat fee for per patient, instead of the number of visits, instead of the number of procedures, or instead of the number of diagnoses. So they are trying to save money, and Medicare is running out of money fast, and that's becoming a big problem. And at the same time, these doctors are very good, especially those from Pakistan. They're amazing. They're the best export Pakistan has. They can save people. They'll save you. You get to them in the hospital, in the ER, they'll save you. Well, the other side of that coin is that it's going to cost a lot of money. You will live longer. People are living longer and longer. The question is the quality of life. And these doctors, they can keep you going. At some point, somebody has to decide, and it's usually the right of the patient. So these factors are going to combine to make it a very complex problem, and at some point, the politicians and the lawmakers in this country will have to address it.
There's another issue, a big issue, that the big insurance company, big insurance group, they got billion money, okay? They are really getting bill passed through the politicians. They run a big dinner, lavish parties and trips, and they get this law passed in Capitol Hill or in Congress and Senate, and they're cutting the price of the radiology and pathology, and they're coming day by day low price. So how come the doctor going to give the quality service? There should be some kind of a check on the insurance company too. They should not cut too much cost of the doctor or radiologist or neurologist or specialized doctors.
Well, you pointed to something very good and poignant, because I think by cutting costs, every time there is a discussion of cost cutting, they come to the doctors and keep taking money away from them.
Yes.
The reimbursement for the doctors over the last few years have gone way down. I mean, they're not making money that they used to. They're having to work longer hours to make less money. That affects their quality of life, and that also affects their budget. So it is, but in this country, money talks. And in my opinion, doctors are the worst when it comes to being organized and having a political voice in the system. Their major organization is American Medical Association, but many doctors are not satisfied because their concerns are not being voiced. So it is a big problem. Insurance companies definitely do have much more lobbying power and much more unity among themselves than do the doctors.
See, that nurses are very united. Their pay scale not going down. Their rate is always go high.
Yeah.
And when I ask one of the doctors, they're like, look, we're not united. We cannot fight like nurses.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are one of the best choice for any physicians in America who has some problem, some issue. That's right?
I think I am. So I would encourage all your doctor viewers to call 844-KAHLOON, KAHLOON, anytime they have a question about compliance and Medicare laws.
Besides that, definitely you can also help the community and then some other legal issues.
Absolutely. I would love to talk to any parents who have issues with their children, which involve either disorderly conduct or misbehaving or use of drugs, and I'm happy to mentor them. I was a prosecutor in juvenile court. I was a defense attorney in juvenile court. I know many children of Pakistani background struggle when they come to this country, especially at that age, very tough age of teen years. I would be happy to share with you my parenting experience and my experience as a defense attorney and as a prosecutor, and the things that I think I can relate to your children so they would understand. So it's very, very important that you communicate with your kids so they feel free to talk to you instead of someone else. That is the number one reason I see that a lot of desi kids, अपने पाकिस्तान के जो बच्चे हैं वो ट्रबल में जाते हैं, उनके चैनल्स जो हैं अपने अम्मी अबू के साथ वो ओपन नहीं है और कैंडिड नहीं है. तो हमेशा इनकरेज करें बच्चों को कि वो आपके साथ जो भी न्यूज़ है शेयर करें. अगर वो अच्छी खबर नहीं भी है तो भी वो उनको इतना बताओ कि मैं अपने बाप के साथ इस चीज़ की बात कर सकता हूँ. So make sure that your children are comfortable, that they can share whatever bothers them, and they can bring it to your attention instead of just keeping it to themselves or discussing it with strangers.
ज़बरदस्त, माशाल्लाह, तो बड़ी अच्छी आपने एडवाइस दी हमारे ऑडियंस को, एंड आई होप दैट एंड मुझे उम्मीद करता हूँ कि हमारे जितने भी नाज़रीन हैं वो आपको देख रहे हैं और आपसे रब्ता कायम करेंगे. आपका टेलीफोन भी चल रहा है, यहाँ पे वेबसाइट भी आपकी चल रही है. इसके अलावा आप ये बताएं कि पोलिटिकली हाउ एक्टिव यू आर इन द कम्युनिटी.
I try not to be politically active. I am an attorney and I have to maintain my impartiality. I do support causes that are pro-immigrants. I support causes that are pro-women's rights. I support causes that give greater rights to children. I am, to that extent, I am politically active, but I am not a big player at the Republican or Democratic politicians.
So you don't support politicians?
I try to support their policies, but not the politicians.
And tell me the role of the Pakistani American in America.
Well, Pakistani Americans are playing a. Let me just.
You shut up this.
I am studying, but if you can get him, I have to pick up a child. But let me start this question again. Pakistani Americans can play a really important role in this country. In fact, Pakistani Americans are seen as model citizens because of their education, because of their background. They are socially conservative, they're economically conservative. They share many of the values that American peoples love and adore. I think sometimes things get lost in this debate about extremism and about religion. If you set aside the religious part, you will see that in fact we have much more in common. When I say we, I'm speaking both as an American and as a Pakistani with each other, then we have our differences. Pakistanis are contributing in the field of medicine, they're contributing in the field of technology, in the field of engineering. In fact, many of your audience viewers might not know that Jacksonville Jaguar, that's a professional NFL football team, is owned by a gentleman, I believe his name is Shahid Khan, originally from Lahore, who came to this country as a student at age 17. So there are some marvelous examples of what Pakistanis have accomplished and how they are contributing to this community.
Zabardast. What's your word about Apna?
Oh, I think Apna is a great organization, and I really wish that they would get even better, be more organized. I wish that there was, if there was a way to take out the parochialism and provincialism in some of this local school and college politics, it could really do. They are the cream of the crop as far as Pakistani expatriates in the United States are concerned. So my message to Apna members is, I am a lifetime Apna Alliance member. My wife, who is a dermatologist, Dr. Nina Kaloon, she's a lifetime Apna member. We love and adore Apna. We want to do everything we can to make this the best organization this country has had of any professionals from any country.
Zabardast. Of course, you are from Pakistan and you love the country.
Yes, sir.
अब आपने अपने वतन से मोहब्बत करते
जी।
हैं, वहाँ से आपने पढ़ा लिखा और आप यहाँ आए,
जी।
और वही आपकी फाउंडेशन थी, उस फाउंडेशन पे ये इमारत आपने तामीर की पूरी.
जी जी
ठीक है, जैसे मेरा मुल्क है, गरीब है, लेकिन उसने आपको चटाई पे पढ़ाया या टाट पे पढ़ाया,
जी।
पढ़ाया तो ना,
जी जी बिल्कुल।
ठीक है, टूटे स्कूल है और उसमें लाइट नहीं है,
जी जी जी।
या खिड़कियों के दरवाजे खुले हुए
जी,
हैं,
जी।
लेकिन उसने पढ़ाया आपको,
हाँ जी।
और उसी फाउंडेशन से आपने यहाँ कामयाबी की,
बिल्कुल।
मनाजिल तय की।
बिल्कुल।
तो अब अपने मुल्क को आप कहाँ देखना चाहते हैं, अपने वतन को कहाँ देखना चाहते हैं? मैं देख रहा हूँ टीयर विद योर आइज।
हम अपने मुल्क को वहाँ देखना चाहते हैं कि हम अमेरिका छोड़ के तो ऐसा मुल्क हो कि हम वापस चले जाएं। वो हमारा मुल्क है, उसके साथ हमारी धड़कन है, उसके साथ हमारी इज्जत है, उसके साथ हमारा सुकून है। तो हम चाहते हैं कि वहाँ से, हमारे मुल्क से जब भी हवा आए तो ठंडी हवा आए, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली हवा जो आती है तो ठंडी नहीं आती, उसमें बहुत आंसू होते हैं, उसमें बहुत ट्रेजेडीज़ होती हैं, तो उससे हमारा दिल बहुत दुखता है, क्योंकि हम इस मुल्क में बहुत अच्छी ज़िंदगी गुजार रहे हैं, रात को सोते हैं, हर चीज़ होती है, लेकिन हमेशा अपने मुल्क का सोचते हैं। तो हमारी मायूसी ये है कि हम अपने मुल्क के लिए इतना कर नहीं रहे, इतना कर नहीं सके, लेकिन हमारी नीयत ये है कि हम अपने मुल्क के लिए इतना करें और जितना उस मुल्क ने हमारे लिए किया है, जिसका हम कभी भी एहसान नहीं उतार सकते।
Briefly, what is the role supposed to be by the overseas Pakistani?
Well, I think overseas Pakistanis can serve as models for Pakistanis living in those countries. We come here from a country which is essentially with no effective rule of law, and we become the most law-abiding community of immigrants in this country. We come from a country where literacy rate is very low, but we become the most literate people in this country. We come from a country which is not necessarily known for its strong work ethics, but we come to this country and we become one of the people with the strongest work ethics. So I think if we could show this part to our brothers and sisters back in Pakistan, that this is what makes this country the great, that they take people from every culture and every country, but they have an environment here that promotes hard work, that respects honesty, and that rewards creativity.
Any roadblocks when you're pursuing your career as a lawmaker?
Well, you have to be careful. Again, you got to follow the law, be humble, be respectful of others, and always keep in mind that it is very fragile. You can slip, and before you know it, you can fall really far down in the darkness.
As a country, America, two more questions.
Yes.
As a country, America, what do you say?
I love this country. I really do. I love this country as much as I love my native country of Pakistan. This country has made me who I am. It has made me a better person. It has made me a more humble person. I think people sometimes look at America from another country and they don't appreciate, they don't realize that the Americans here are some of the best people you will ever find. So don't let America's policies define America's people.
आपके जो मशाविर हैं वो क्या हैं, फारिग औकात में क्या करते हैं, इतने बिजी रहते हैं, कोर्ट, ट्रायल, लॉयर, activity?
Well, I work for myself, and then I go home and I work for my wife and for my children. I do all the things that many wives in Pakistan wish that their husbands would, which is to help with the dishes, help with the cooking, take the kids to school, bring them back. And in my free time, if I do all those things, I get to play golf. So
Play golf.
That's what I do.
What singer you like?
You know, I am a big fan of Punjabi folk music, so I listen to anyone who can sing Baba Bulle Shah.
Babula Shah.
Yes, sir.
Any कोई exclusive message to my audience?
You should support this program. It is the Safir Pakistan is one of the best programs. I am obviously honored and happy to be on this program. And all I encourage you is every day be good ambassadors for your country. Be good Pakistani. So if ever someone meets your child or meets a friend or someone, they know that someone else who was a Pakistani left a good impression on them. So you can be the true ambassador for Pakistan. And when you go to Pakistan, you can be the true ambassador for the United States. So that's what I wish for my people.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
नाज़रीन, तो आप देख रहे थे प्रोग्राम सफ़ीर पाकिस्तान और एक मुलाकात जनाब खालिद कलून के साथ। तो आपकी आज नॉलेज में बहुत ही इजाफा हुआ होगा। आपने देखा होगा कि पाकिस्तानी कहाँ कहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं और किस गांव से चले, कैसे सफ़र किया और कहाँ तक पहुँचे। और आज ये वही पाकिस्तानी हैं जिन्होंने पीडीओ स्कूल में पढ़ा है, जिन्होंने टाट पे पढ़ा है, चटाई पे बैठ के पढ़ा है, लेकिन पाकिस्तान की तालीम इतनी मजबूत थी और इनके इरादे इतने मजबूत थे कि उन्होंने अमेरिका में आके सितारे टाके हैं आसमान पे और अपना नाम पैदा किया। और आज ये अपना नाम कमा रहे हैं, अपने मुल्क का नाम कमा रहे हैं। और आप देखें कितने जजेस ने और कितने प्रोसिक्यूटर ने इनकी तारीफ़ की, इनके बारे में बताया है। تو یہ ہمارے ایمبیسیڈرشپ ہونی چاہیے پاکستانی امریکنس کی. اور مجھے بڑی خوشی ہے کہ آج میں ان کو لے کر آیا اسکرین پہ اور آپ نے تو ملاقات کی. اگر آپ کو کوئی بھی سوال ہے, کوئی کویشچنس ہیں, تو آپ سفیر پاکستان سے بھی رابطہ قائم کر سکتے ہیں اور ڈائریکٹ جناب خالد کلون سے بھی رابطہ قائم کر سکتے ہیں. تو یہ تھی آج کی ملاقات کے ساتھ ہی آپ کا میزبان وقار علی خان کہتا کہ لوئی سے جائے گا. اللہ حافظ. پاکستان پائندہ باد.
ایک بار مجھے گود میں لے لو بابا, ایک بار مجھے گود میں لے لو بابا, ایک بار مجھے گود میں لے لو بابا. واہ حسینہ کا ہوا شور حرم میں برپا, ہو کے رخصت جو چلے گھر سے شہ کربلا, کہہ کے یہ دوڑی سکینہ کے ٹھہر جا ہو ذرا, ایک بار مجھے گود میں لے لو بابا. شہن بچی کا جو یہ حال پریشان دیکھا, رو کے فرمایا کہ کیا حال میری ماں ہے لقا, جوڑ کر نر سے ہاتھوں کو سکینہ نے کہا, ایک بار مجھے گود میں لے لو بابا.
ہورائزن ٹریول مکمل ٹریول ٹور پیکج, جانا کل ہو یا آج, اور لاسٹ منٹ ٹریولنگ. پاکستان, انڈیا, بنگلہ دیش, گلف اور مڈل ایسٹ, دنیا بھر میں سفری سہولتوں کے چیمپئن. حج ہو یا عمرہ, زیارت ہو یا پیاروں سے ملنا, صرف ایک ہی نام لبوں پہ ہے عام. آل ایئر لائنز, آل پیکج, مناسب دام میں بہت بڑا نام. ہورائزن ٹریول. سہیل بھائی سے آج ہی رابطہ قائم کیجیے.
Shri Balaji Entertainment presents
رنگ شربتوں کا
Rockstar Atif Aslam.
زندگی آ رہا ہوں میں ہنسی کا
Call 310-889-5158 201-805-9426.
ناظرین کے ساتھ ہی آپ کا میزبان وقار علی خان آپ سے چاہے گا. اللہ حافظ. پاکستان پائندہ باد.